It has been a good 30 years. It's been a lot of fun here. It was fun at other radio stations I worked at. And it's just getting harder to get up in the morning. 3 o'clock comes early. And sometimes you don't go to sleep till 10 or 11. So it makes it difficult. And it's time to do other things. I fell in love with it when I was a little kid. My granddad was a big-time radio user. And when I was a wee little guy, he worked shifts. And when he worked the 3 to 11 shift, we lived with them. I would be at his side at his little workshop in the basement all morning long until lunchtime, and then he'd get ready to go to work. And so he had the radio on, and back then Arthur Godfrey was still on the radio, and gee, there were so many other shows, show out of Chicago, and so on and so forth. And we'd listen to those shows. You know, I'd be getting into trouble, but I'd be listening. And I thought, boy, that is so cool what these guys did. So by the time I'm 12, 13 years old, I'm asking for a tape recorder, which back then was reel-to-reel and expensive. And Mom and Dad found a way to get me one. Had this little square microphone, and I had a Jewel T record player. And used to hold the microphone and bend down, and so the music would play and you could pick it up on the microphone. So I'd be talking over the intro and then hold it by the speaker and then talk some more. And what do? You're playing radio, 13 years old. It felt like home when I moved here. It really did. It was the weirdest thing. I came from a small market in northeast Kansas. I was out there 3 years. And it was a great area. The weather stinks in Kansas, by the way. We lived in Tornado Alley, and it really is Tornado Alley. And I came back here, and it's green here, and we have trees here, and, you know, we have decent weather in the summer, and the people here are really great people. I felt more at home here than I ever did in Youngstown, and that's where I'm from.
Did you ever expect to be here so long?
No. No. I expected to be here 5 to 7 years, and then the goal was to move south so I could retire in the south. The first time we welcomed the troops home from Desert Storm, they asked if I would take role in radio and if we could broadcast from Mansfield-Lom Airport and lead the parade of the 1486th when they were coming home from Desert Storm. And we would lead it from Mansfield-Lom through Mansfield and then up Ashland Road and into Ashland and then out to the Armory on East Main in Ashland. And because we had a van with an antenna that I could shift and turn, we did a live, full hour-and-a-half broadcast from the airport when the planes landed and the guys and the gals got out of the planes and got into the different vehicles, and we led the parade, and it was the biggest thrill of my life. And when we pulled onto Claremont Avenue from Route 42, and Abers Truck Center had 2 cranes as high as they could go with a 50-foot-long American flag suspended, I lost it.
Yeah.
That's America. It's been very, very special because they've been part of my life like I've been part of theirs. I'm probably one of the few disc jockeys where the people are never afraid to come up to me and talk about, you remember when Mom was sick last year? You remember when we had the baby last year? You remember different things about their family. I wasn't there, but I was there because I was on the air with them. And I can't tell you how many trips I hosted to Nashville and Branson and places like that. And I always took the time to talk to each of the people on the bus. I tried to eat at different tables and so on, so we could visit. I've always tried to be available to the listeners. I've spent hundreds of hours, thousands of hours at the fairs. That was how I got to know the station when I came to the station in 1984. First thing I did was go to the Richland County Fair and make balloons and talk to the people. They didn't know who I was. I wasn't even on the radio yet. But I talked to them to find out what they liked about the radio station and what they didn't like. And there were some things they didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
And so we tried to fix those.
So when you go to say goodbye on May 1st, what are you going to say to them?
A great big thank you. And we're all going to yell, "It's Friday." After 40 years of yelling, "It's Friday," I got to do it one last time.